What if I told you one basketball team with one goal had all the potential to win their first state championship, and then, in the blink of an eye, it all fell apart? The year was off to a great start. Unconference play was underway, and the girls had beaten Dot by 30.
After 4 years together, the core of our team has finally had the chemistry down. Our passes are in sync. Our layups are actually going in the hoop. And we've finally have jerseys that actually fit us correctly.
I know, like how hard can it be to get jerseys that actually fit us correctly?
Like, we've had these jerseys for 3 years now, and this is the first year we're actually wearing them.
How do you like the new uniforms?
I love them.
They're great, but ours were better.
They got it right this time.
I hate them. I hate everything about them. Why couldn't we just keep the old ones?
Maybe if you hadn't spilled water on the old ones, you'd still have them.
Just as fast as one season started, one fateful phone call put another in serious jeopardy.
Mr. Snyder, we have a bit of an emergency.
Josh, it's 3 a.m. during winter break. What could possibly be the problem?
Melanie just called. One of the sophomores was left behind in Israel.
Josh!
Mr. Snyder, I'm serious.
Josh, for the last time, no more prank calls during winter break.
Mr. Snyder, I'm so serious. We need to tell Avi, and then...
Everyone's reactions were shocked, to say the least.
It has to be one of the most unfortunate collapses I've ever seen.
So, Eitan Kochavi.
Can't do this!
How did this happen?
My first day in Israel, Mr. Halza mentioned to me that he had noticed that Eitan had taken quite a liking to the ibexes on the Midrashah, even grazing with them on occasion. I laughed it off at first, but it turns out that on occasion was an understatement.
Some days we'd all wake up and just head to the cafeteria and Eitan just wasn't there.
It was the last day of HIP, and we were on the runway, and Adib says, "Wait, where's Eitan?" And it was at that moment when the entire class realized that Eitan wasn't on the bus when we left for the airport. We were too late.
With Eitan nowhere to be found, teachers and students alike rallied around the varsity team, and were still amped about the girls' team and the junior varsity.
No one cares about JV, Daniel.
Fine. They were excited about the girls.
Miss Litz, have you been to any of the high school basketball games this year?
Yeah, I love going and watching the girls play, but isn't basketball over? Baseball started, right?
What?
Wait, so you're saying Mr. Miller has no reason to be talking about baseball this early?
No. What were the expectations for this year's team?
Yeah, this year's baseball team looks incredible this year.
No, Mr. Miller, I'm talking about the basketball team.
Excuse me, Daniel, I am talking right now. Before I was so rudely interrupted. Trying to think about who's going to start the first game, Caleb or Ari.
Come on, Mr. Miller, this is a basketball duck.
Can I finish? Can you let me finish?
But...
Can I finish? Okay, I'm done.
Ken mentions our varsity baseball team one more time before March. I'm gonna go back and teach 5th grade.
Daniel, I told you already, this video can't be over 5 minutes. This is getting way off topic, and I'm seriously about to change my mind about this.
Don't worry, I'll get back to the interviews.
It wasn't just the teachers and his friends that were missing Eitan. The younger kids admired the 6-foot big man as well.
Who's your favorite player on the varsity basketball team?
Anton Kochavi, not even a question.
Why?
He rebounds, he shoots, and he dunks. What more can you ask for?
But not everyone was sold on the legend that was Anton Kochavi.
A couple of months ago, I did notice something pretty strange. My 10th grade gym class was playing basketball, and I asked them all to stop dribbling. Eitan continued to dribble, until finally, I shouted Anton. Suddenly, he stops.
It happens in Hebrew class sometimes too.
איתן, איך אומרים to go? איתן, איתן, אנטון?
I've seen this before. It's called Antoine Walker hypnosis. Antoine Walker was a great NBA player who played for the Celtics and Heat, and sometimes there are kids who convince themselves that they're Antoine Walker in real life.
Wait, really?
No, never seen anything like this before. Very concerned.
Are you worried about him at all?
Ken? Yeah, the baseball lineup talk is really getting out of hand.
No, we're talking about Aton.
Oh.
So we get to the airport to go pick up Aton, and one by one, the 10th graders come up the escalator, except Aton. Yeah. My mom started panicking, but my dad said, well, he'll get home one way or another. And then we left the airport.
And that was the last anyone ever thought they'd hear about the great Anton Kochavi again. School resumed after winter break had ended. Not even 30 minutes into school on the 8th, the freshly waxed floors were already ruined, but the practices had to proceed.
How were the first couple of practices back after break had ended and the news of Aton had broke?
Nothing changed really. The boys don't treat it on the last few minutes of our practices like they always do. Speaking of which, is it really that hard to wait until 5:15 to start shooting? Come on, Zev. Seriously, you're always the first one.
I bet they're spying on us preparing for the next boys versus girls game.
If I learned one thing in Russia, it's what a spy looks like, and these boys, they were up to something.
Spying or not, the boys did have a major issue. The team just wasn't the same without Aton.
Statistically speaking, a coin landing on his side was more probable than the Tigers winning state without Aton.
Everyone was starting to get very frustrated.
Man, I can't keep doing this without Aton. Hey!
And then, when all hope was lost, Aton returned. At last, the season was back on track, and just in time for the alumni game.
That we share.